I know you want to get to the six pack, but you don't have the muscle underneath in order to be able to get there. I wasted at least a year and a half, 2 years in stupid, shitty gyms, doing training every single day because motherfuckers told me to train every single day, do abs every single day. I did all kinds of dumb shit. I would do like 12 exercises in the same day, hoping that I would build muscle. Nothing happened for a year and a half. Like everybody wants to get a six pack, right? They all try to lose weight to get to a six pack. But the only thing that ended up happening for them was they lost a bunch of fat and a bunch of muscle. This is why veganism is so popular. It's the brainless way to weight loss. That makes them gain it all back eventually, along with infinite back pain and lethargy. This is why weight loss in Gen Pop never make it anywhere close to a six pack or even shreds or ever, anything. This is also why they're always starving themselves to death. Imagine spending and investing so many hours in the gym and you're still fucking unhappy. Like, how sad is that? And here's why. Nothing motivates someone more than progress. Fat guys get big, strong guy compliments. Skinny guys don't look like they lift until the shirt comes off. This will destroy your motivation. Alrighty then. The question that we're answering for today is, I'm skinny fat. Should I bulk or should I cut? So I have like a whole script and a bunch of different points that I'm pretty sure you haven't thought about all the way through that I'm going to be covering. I also have a couple of other pictures of some older clients, some guys that went from skinny to like even leaner or something, but they managed to put on some muscle. Some other guys that lost 100 pounds from obviously being overweight and obese down here, but also did not end up getting where they wanted to get, which is like their six pack and such. And how we ended up helping him put on 50 pounds in order for him to get to where he wanted to get. So we're going to get into all of the details. Some of those pictures and stuff should be here in front of you at this point in time. And what I'm training today is hamstrings. So I'm going to be walking you through every single thing that I do for my hamstrings as well. So let's start off with the warm-up first. This is basically just a mind-muscle connection. I'm just going to start doing it and show you what's happening. So this is some isolateral stuff I'm going to do. I'm going to go one at a time. And all I'm going to do is just keep going for reps. And that's it. I'm just going to go for reps and try and get the mind-muscle connection going so that my hamstring knows to fire by itself and not with anything else. Now, one of the funny things about the hamstring actually, for me, is that because I've been a football player, or a soccer player really, like a European football player, for almost a decade in the past, because I've been a soccer player for almost like a decade in the past, I have had so many injuries, so many fucking injuries. I pulled my hamstring so many fucking times that at this point I don't even sprint anymore. Like, I'm scared of running because first of all, I don't know how to run. Funnily enough, there's actually a technique and a method on how to run, which I don't know how to do it properly. So my mechanics on running are like really bad. And I'm always scared of like pulling my hamstring when I go really, really fast or like when I sprint. So that's enough for the first sort of mind-muscle connection in the hamstring that's going on. Now I'm going to actually warm up on the actual machines. The first one is going to be my lying leg curls. I'm going to warm up all the way visual central nervous system firing in both of my legs. So now that we have that going, let's actually move on to the first exercise machine that we're actually going to be using. So as I mentioned before, I used to play soccer for like 10 to 12 years. So I have pulled both of my hamstrings at least 6 to 8 times each. I'm really scared of sprinting at this point because I just feel like I might end up pulling a hamstring. I've sprained both of my ankles at least 4 to 6 times each. So my mechanics in terms of my lower body while sprinting are not the best, and that's what scares me from. I can't go ham on them like I can on most other body parts per se. Now you will still see me training really, really hard, but the point is you have to train your mind-muscle connection first. Your central nervous system has to warm up at first, and then you can train really hard on the last few reps. Like, you do not want to start off trying to create havoc or going insane mode when you're first starting off your first rep. So all I'm going to do is just start off with I'm going to warm up a little bit, I don't know, 60, 75 pounds or something like that, and we're going to start off. All right, so the question today is, I'm skinny fat. Should I bulk or should I cut? I've already been through the intro. I've been everywhere and I've helped with the guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put in the pictures of all the guys or something, because it would require a lot of editing. I probably won't actually. I'm going to be straight up. I won't be able to. This is like really lightweight, by the way. And I'm going to go for like maybe 20, 25, something reps, something like that. And again, even here, what I'm thinking about really is just contracting through the actual hamstrings. Something else that I haven't really ever done, which is really funny,
because I've been training for 15 years now. But I never really thought about actually splitting up my quads and my hams into separate days. Which, if you kind of think about it logically or something, common sense wise, that's a really stupid thing to do, to be extremely honest, because 60% of your muscle is in the lower body. So approximately 40, possibly up front, and like 20, 30 or something at the back. And we split up the upper body into so many different days. Chest day alone, shoulder day alone, arm day alone, back day alone, and shit like that. So doesn't it make a little bit of fucking common sense to actually separate your quads and your hamstrings into separate days? So that's what I've been doing only during this prep, only the past 8 weeks or 12 weeks or something. And even though I'm on a deficit and I'm obviously getting very lean, I'm not sure if I'm growing my legs, but at the very least they're maintaining. And I have to be honest, I think my hamstrings are growing as well. Another reason why it really helps is previously when I would do a leg day alone, I can only do a maximum of maybe 7 exercises and that's it. After that, and frankly, even those, the first 5 I can work hard on. After that, I'm like gassed. Like at this point, I do like 4 or 5 exercises or something, maybe 6, but 5 generally. And the first 4 I can give everything. And the last one is generally like an isolation move that I finish off with the mind-muscle connection or something like that. So doing 7 exercises for legs, you can only give so much. Also, each one of them has to have, like your legs need enough volume, right? So if you're gonna be doing 7 exercises and you do 3 sets each, that's like 21 sets, that's a lot of fucking work. And even in there, you're only getting 3 to 9 sets on the hamstrings and whatever is remaining, 12 sets on the quads or something. And it is impossible, like your central nervous system is gonna be so goddamn fried by the time you finish your quads to get to your hamstrings. So either you can maximally train your quads or you can maximally train your hamstrings, but you can't do both. That's something that I've learned so far. This is like a heavier warm-up, like my final warm-up. So the point here really is,
I don't know what's harder, up or down.
okay. The last one, you do less reps because you're not necessarily trying to go for, that's why we did the isolation stuff there, that's why we did another set over here. The point of going heavier is to train your central nervous system. So now I have my actual main working weight set. This is gonna be 135 on this thing. And first I'm gonna be doing like an RPE of 8, which is like 2 reps in reserve. Then I'm gonna be doing a RPE 9, and then we're gonna be looking into what kind of intensifier I do after that, maybe a drop set, maybe. So there may be some of those pictures of those guys, maybe all the way at the start, but you can see some of these skinny guys, young guys as well, skinny guys, who all lost weight trying to get to a 6-pack. Like everybody wants to get a 6-pack, right? They all try to lose weight to get to a 6-pack. But the only thing that ended up happening for them was they lost a bunch of fat and a bunch of muscle, and they did not end up getting a 6-pack. And there's a bunch of those guys that I had to like reverse up and help them bulk up. Like the one of them bulked up to plus 70 pounds, one of them plus 50 pounds, and so on. Okay, this is why. Weight loss does not require any understanding of the human body. This is something that even I didn't realize or come to until recently, just thinking about this. This is the reason why there are so many people that have done any extremist method of dieting. Keto, carnivore, vegan, juice cleanse diet, grapefruit diet, snake oil diet, blah, blah, bullshit diets. And they combine it with any kind of methods. Intermittent fasting, doing cardio for 2 hours each, or an hour, doing high intensity interval training for cardio and low intensity steady state for cardio. They will barely do any kind of exercises or something that makes sense. Almost everybody on planet Earth, when they step into the gym, is going to be starting out doing bicep curls and shit, because that's what everybody sees and observes everybody else do. This is why everybody loses weight, gets to their goal weight for whatever their wedding shoot, photo shoot, vacation, blah, 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 something, whatever. And then they end up regaining everything and going way beyond. And the reason for that is pretty simple. As someone that understands the human body, is that when you're losing weight without knowing what you're doing, which none of these people know what they're doing, you're gonna be losing, yes, a little bit of fat, but mostly muscle, because you don't know how to maintain it, nor grow it, build it, anything. So you're going to lose a lot of muscle simply because you're creating such a huge calorie deficit need. Okay, I think it's time for the next set, by the way. So I'll get back into this in a second. I'm going to go for the next set.
Nice.
That's probably RPE 9. One set, one rep in reserve or something. I think I got like 9 reps there. Yeah, I think I got 9 reps there. Okay. This is why so many people lose weight successfully without knowing how many calories they ate, which form of dieting they did, which form of cardio is the best, and the best without ever making any significant progress inside the gym lifting weights. So the guy that sparked this conversation, I asked him what his weight, how much he's benching or something. I forget how long he's been training. No, he's at least been training for a year at least, because he told me he hasn't made any progress in a whole year. And this is so typical, and he's so demotivated and so disappointed. And he mentions that he's going to like a vacation or something, and he's just scared of even taking off his shirt because, you know, he doesn't have what he tried to lose the weight to get down to. By the way, fantastic work on losing the weight. And it's not your fault. It's just you don't know what you were supposed to be doing or how you're supposed to be going about it. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be teaching you here. So don't worry about that shit. There's no failure in learning. The whole point is that you learn from your mistakes. In the past 6 months, including like binge drinking on the way to get to this leanness and stuff. Anyways, so without making any significant progress inside the gym lifting weights, because this guy still is struggling with the 135-pound bench. This is why veganism is so popular. It's the brainless way to weight loss. That makes them gain it all back eventually, along with infinite back pain and lethargy, because you're losing muscle and energy and everything else. If the only thing you've done so far is to lose weight, I can guarantee you don't understand how to work your body. Building muscle is where the understanding of nutritional choices, timing, progressive overload, observing the muscles getting stronger and eventually bigger. That's where you learn how your body actually functions. This is why weight loss in Gen Pop never make it anywhere close to a six-pack or even shreds or ever, anything. This is also why they're always starving themselves to death. Like I'm on 1900, 2000 calories, right? I can guarantee you I'm not starving myself to death. I mentioned this in another post right now. My difficulty of my diet is 4 out of 10 to maybe 6 out of 10. That's it. Whereas other people are starving themselves. This is why they're the biggest fans of keto, vegan, intermittent fasting. This is why folks that have been through even a single proper bulking phase, when they cut down, they can get down to a six-pack and they're never starving. Their food bowls are always freaking ginormous in volume and quantity because they've learned the tricks of burning the fat and feeding the muscle sustainably. There's this amazing book which is literally called Burn the Fat, Feed the Muscle. It's by Tom Venuto. It's honestly one of the best books. You should absolutely read that book. It's on Audible and everything. Even when I read it, I knew everything about building muscle and burning fat, and I was so impressed like how easy he made the whole process for Gen Pop. So if you read that book, you're going to understand exactly how the human body works, which again, I'm teaching you right now. So again, the first point here is that if you just learn how to lose weight and you've been successful in losing weight, it still does not mean that you know how the human body actually optimally works. So I'm gonna get into that in a second. Okay, so last one's gonna be set to failure, and then maybe I think we're gonna go for either a drop set or an isotension hold or something. I haven't decided exactly what it is gonna be. So I think I'm just gonna go for a drop set. I'm gonna go 75. I don't know how many reps I got, maybe 135 for 8 or something, I'm not sure. Might have to check it, but honestly, again, as long as you fail. I am beyond failure and shit. What are we gonna move for? I think we're gonna move for lying left, seated leg curls in a second. All right, what's the next point? You have to have some muscle before you can cut the fat down and see it. Even me, when I started off 2008, now my excuse can just be, bro, I started off in 2008. The internet was in its fucking infancy in terms of fitness and YouTube and shit, and barely anybody out there was giving online training and advice. So there was no way to find out about all this kind of stuff. And I was in India. Nobody around me was jacked. Nobody around me was fit. And they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. People were on fucking sauce for benching. I'm not even joking you when I say this. For benching 60 kilos. So, yeah. Anyways. Oh, yeah, you have to have some muscle before you can cut the fat down and see it. And the fact that most people, when they lose weight, they just increase the calorie burning part of the equation, which helps them to create a deficit, and the deficit has to come from somewhere, which in this case goes from muscle. But they've never learned to build the muscle. And in order to build the muscle first, you have to grab any exercise, anywhere, dumbbell bench, barbell bench, squat, deadlift, bicep curl, anything,
And you have to progressively keep on overloading and keep on getting bigger and stronger. And even if I just tell you that and you attempt that, you're going to fail on the first or fourth week. And when you fail on the fourth week, you're going to be like, why am I not building muscle? And then you kind of troubleshoot a little bit, ask on the forums here and there or something. And then people realize, bitch, what the fuck? You're eating like 1,800 calories. How the fuck do you expect to put on any muscle when you're eating 1,800 calories? And you're eating like 100 grams of protein. You have to have at least a gram of protein per pound or something. And then you go back to the drawing board and like, oh shit, okay, a gram. So for me, that should be like 180 grams of protein or something. And let's try that for the next 4 weeks or something. And you break through your previous plateau or something. And now I started off from a zero barbell bench. I mentioned this many times before. But I started off from like an 8-kilo barbell, which is like 20-pound stops, which I failed at 8 reps. The last one I checked my barbell bench, I could do like 255 or something, or 265 for a single natty. I got up to like a 93-kilo bench or something. So yeah, you have to learn to build the muscle first before you can burn it off. I know you want to get to the six-pack, but you don't have the muscle underneath in order to be able to get there. It's like you need to have like that big of like a granite or stone structure before you can start carving it off. If this is your stone structure right at the start and you start carving it off, there's nothing left in the middle for your statue or whatever. Hopefully the analogy makes sense. To learn to build the muscle and have to build muscle, and you have to learn to build the muscle, you have to force feed yourself. So I'm going to move on to the next exercise and we'll continue from there. And the point we're going to continue from is force feeding.
Okay, so before we continue, you basically always want to warm up, even if it's like 1 or maybe 2 sets or something. What was I talking about? Yeah, so my point was, you have to learn how to build a muscle first before you can cut down the fat in order to get to where you want to get. Like for most people, some people will have an appetite, sure, and will always have an appetite. And these people will always be the ones that are heavier in general, like endomorphs. Most people like me don't have an appetite. Like even right now, I'm not that hungry, even though I'm on a 1,900 calorie deficit and everything. I'm never that hungry. You have to learn to force feed yourself. You have to force feed yourself. I wasted at least 1.5 to 2 years in stupid, shitty gyms doing training every single day because motherfuckers told me to train every single day, do abs every single day. I did all kinds of dumb shit. I would do like 12 exercises in the same day, hoping that I would build muscle. Nothing happened for 1.5 years. And I was so disappointed until I finally read a book and this guy just told me, okay, this is how you do it. You have to force feed. You have to progressively overload. Don't do 25 different exercises. Just pick 4 or 5 of the big basic ones and just progressively overload on those. Just concentrate on the main bread and butter ones. The first time I ate food, they were like, no matter how much food you're eating, if you're not gaining weight and you're not gaining weight, force feed, eat more, just double everything up. So I started shooting in my mess. We used to have dal and roti and shit. So I used to have like 1 cup of dal and 2 chapatis or some shit when I used to eat normally. And literally, because they told me force feed, double feed on every single meal, I knew I didn't have the appetite. So I had to learn to just shoot the first cup of dal and like stuff my fucking roti into my face immediately in record time before the hunger signals came through. I was like, oh, you're not hungry anymore. So I would shoot cups of dal, force feed myself the fucking roti and shit. And then I would sit down to eat the remaining, like an actual dinner meal or something. So I could guarantee myself that I had double the calories. I also made a bunch of other stupid mistakes, which is like trying to eat 5 to 6 meals a day to stroke the metabolic fire and shit. That's not needed. I didn't know that back then, but I made it way harder for myself. But again, progressively overloading is important. You will fail a bunch of times. I failed trying to progressively overload too fast because I thought, oh, I can do this. So I jumped from like, start off with an empty barbell because you don't need to start off with an empty barbell. And then I moved to 40 kilos slowly. And then I was like, dude, this is so easy. I can just jump up to 60. I did 60. Next session I stalled. So I asked on the forums, bro, what the fuck happened? I needed to get to 225 in 12 weeks. I'm going to lose it. They're like, why did you fucking jump so hard? You're not supposed to progressively jump that hard. You're just supposed to keep it easy and keep on infinitely progressively overloading. So we're going a little bit heavier today. Last time we did like 99 for 10 or 12 reps. Today we're going to be going for like 100. So that's how I learned to progressively overload because I made that mistake of jumping too high too fast and I didn't know that was a mistake that I made. Again, I had to make that mistake in order to learn how progressive overload works. I had to make the mistake. I never ate enough protein before. These are just the quick things that are coming into my mind. The other mistake that I made that I learned was I didn't need to do 25 different exercises. I just need to do like the main 5x5 is my program. My program's on the video, how I went from like a black belt incel, Indian incel to shredded Chad, something like that. My entire program, the free basic bread and butter basic one, that will give you enough results for the first 2-3 years. The basic stuff is already on the program for free. That's the same program that I did 15 years ago, but I obviously optimized it like
25 times more compared to what I did back then. That's why my guys are putting on 70 pounds, 50 pounds, 20 pounds, natural, by the way. Whereas it took me 15 years to put on like 30, 40, 20, 30 pounds or something so far. You have to learn how to build muscle first so that you learn what keeps the muscle so that when you cut down eventually after, so that when you get down into a deficit eventually after, you realize that protein can never go down. Oh, progressive overload is always going to be there. Rate of progress might be slower. Progressive overload is always going to be there. These are the basic exercises that will keep muscle throughout my entire body. I don't need to be doing isolation, garbage, dog shit. Guys, 2024, people are more lost than ever. You would expect that people have figured this shit out. It's the exact opposite. People are doing all kinds of random shit when people had figured the most basic bread and butter shit out since the 1930s, 50s, 60s and shit. Like we have old school bodybuilders that did everything without drugs or the bare minimum amount of drugs and so on and so forth.
110 for 9. I don't know how much that was.
This point is a fucking gold mine, honestly, that a lot of you guys haven't figured this out. So, including this guy that reached out to me, right? What did he say? If this is exactly what happens to people that don't get results. You feel demotivated, you feel disappointed, you're in a negative mindset, you're depressed to some extent, just unhappy. Imagine spending and investing so many hours in the gym and you're still fucking unhappy. Like, how sad is that? And here's why. Nothing motivates someone more than progress. When you bulk, you can literally see and feel the progress happening. When you bulk, you start off with an empty barbell. And you could test out your max on the first day and you might be able to get 15 reps, 20 reps, 25 reps, whatever. I'm just throwing numbers out there. So you know that's your max, you know, a 25 rep max or something, whatever it is. And you know that you probably can't do, even if you try and put on 25, you probably won't be able to do more than 1 rep, 2 reps or something. So you know what your max is, right? You know where you're at that point. When you start off with an empty barbell and you slowly add on 2.5 on each side, and then the next time 5, 2.5 more, next time 7.5, next time 10, and you slowly keep going up. By week 4 or week 6, you've already reached like 20 pounds on each side or something like that, which is close to your previous 1 rep max. So you can literally see that I couldn't do this before and I can do it now. And because now you're actually making progress in the gym, you will also be able to feel the progress too. Like when you go back home after when I was a beginner, every 21 days I could see some results. Every 21 days I could see something new, like a delved shape coming in, like clavicular shape coming in, some pec pump, kind of something looking better, something or the other, some arm, something looking better, something. Every 21 days as a beginner, I could see something new coming up. When you can see progress and you can feel progress, nothing inspires you more. Let me give you an example again. You could take my example right now, or you could take the millions of people that you see inside the gyms. Why are these people always still inside the gym? Because they can see progress. Now, imagine going to work and not making any money. I was like, yeah. Oh my God. All right, let's do one more set.
I think that's like 1 rep reserve.
Yeah, that was my point. Nothing motivates people more than when you see progress. So folks in my building, even like Gen Pop, they ask me, because they see me training, right? They see me training, they see me getting into shape, yada. They see me going to the gym every fucking time. They see me coming back from the gym, from cardio, drenched in sweat, going to the sauna and everything. And they keep asking me like, how do you do it? How do you do it? I'm like, dude, let's imagine you went to the gym, went to work, and every day that you went to work, you came back home, you had $5,000 in your bank account more. So every week that you're going to work, you're making $5,000. Would you want to work only 40 hours a week? Would you want to work 60 hours a week or 80 hours a week? And they're like, yeah, 100% 60, 80, maybe even 100 hours, because that's a lot of money. I'm like, that's exactly why. Because when you start seeing results, when you see the return on your investment, whether it's time investment or effort investment or anything, when you start seeing a return on investment, things start to matter and value. This is why there's so many people, including myself right now, 5 days a week in the gym, spending 2 hours, 1.5 hours training, 35 minutes on cardio. It's like 2-hour investment every single day, 5 days a week. So the other remaining 2 days, I still do cardio. Why? Because you can see it. I can see the results and you can see the progress coming in. So it makes it easier. How can you make the effort in terms of your diet and eating the same foods and not eating pizza and cheeseburgers and shit like that? Because you can see it. You can see the cuts. You can see the results. You can see the leanness coming through. Like you can see the results. So if you're making $5,000 per week, then you're inspired to stay and keep making $5,000 per week. And that's the point. So if you're getting uninspired, you have to ask yourself, am I seeing progress or not? If you are seeing progress and you're not inspired or something, you're not passionate about it, you don't like weightlifting, you don't like whatever, find something else, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, Zumba classes, whatever. Find something that you actually enjoy, because when you start seeing results, almost everybody is going to want to invest more time, money, and so on and so forth into the thing that's giving you the results. So nothing will make you more, nothing will motivate you more than progress. You get to build up your garbage metabolism. I think I'm done. I'm going to do my last set. This is going to be the failure. And then maybe I think I'm going to do iso tension hold or something. I haven't decided yet. We'll see.
Jesus. Not gonna lie, I felt that way more in my right hamstring than my left. I really don't know why. Instead, I have pulled my left hamstring far too many more times than my right. I don't even know how many reps I did, but my guess is going to be 7. And then we did a drop set to failure, force reps. Okay, what was the next point? Oh, you get to build up your garbage metabolism. This is very, very important. And the reason why this is so important, is because most of us, when we first start off, have pretty basic metabolisms. Like, they're not good, they're not bad, but they're decent, right? When you build muscle, your metabolism gets built up. Not only the muscle tissue itself, but even just eating more food, your body can just handle more food and some stuff like that. Remember the logs and stuff from my last bulk, where I put on like 30, 35 pounds? I was force feeding myself 4,500 calories, 5,000 calories, and still not gaining weight after a certain cutoff limit. So I built up my metabolism to the limit of 5,000 calories or something. So when I started off my cut, I didn't have to drop down to like 1,900 that I'm at right now. I had to start off at 3,500 or 3,000 or something. This is the problem with guys that do not get to their 6-packs or something, is your metabolism is average or below average if you started off earlier as fat and you already lost weight. Generally, these people cut down to 1,800 calories, 1,600 calories. I remember when I was younger, 18, 19 years old, I had to cut down to like 1,600 calories or some shit like that to lose fat. And I used to lift weights still. So anyways, these guys are cutting 1,400 calories, 1,600 calories and so on and so forth to lose fat or weight actually. Now you're 1,400 calories and you have built no muscle, right? So where are you going to go from there to get even leaner? 1,200 calories as a man, you're going to get to 1,200 or under that? That's impossible. This is why you need to be building muscle, so that you can actually build your metabolism back up again as well, so that it gives you a place to come back. Okay, what's my next exercise? So if you guys can see me, nobody ever uses the machine. This is the Nordic curl. The point here really is it's all pretty much just eccentric. You're training nothing but eccentrics on this one. And this is more of like an athletic move. But again, nobody uses this. I've never done hamstrings isolated ever before. So I'm going to try this out and see how this feels. Actually, this is not eccentric at all because I have such a heavy weight on this. So there's 2 ways that you can use this one. One is basically purely for eccentric. So I have like no weight on that thing. Or the other one's actually for the concentrics, which is when you have weight on that thing. Because weight on the thing actually makes this easier. So I think I don't even know, but I think having for RP 8-ish there, I'll go from there. You can finally end up looking like someone that lives. If you never bulked in your life before. So here's the thing, right? Skinny guys, lean guys, yada, yada, shredded guys, kind of sort of only look good, or people understand that they lift when the shirts come off, right? That's been a meme forever. Like, bro, do you even lift? Until the shirt comes off and you're like, holy shit, you look amazing, bro. But you never look amazing in a shirt or something. That's what happens to guys that just lose weight. And of course, they don't have any muscle left anyways. And then they're trying to get even leaner. You're never going to get those compliments that you're striving for, looking for, or anything. That look that you're looking for about looking good. However, if you bulk, and even if you get fat, even if you get up to 20% body fat, 25% body fat, which is a decent chunk, which you're going to have to get when you first start off, by the way. Even if you get big and chunky, as long as you're bulking right and you're putting on muscle, you will always look like you lift. Because your delts are going to get bigger, your arms are going to get bigger, your pecs are going to get bigger. Yes, your stomach might get bigger too, but at least people will still be like, okay, this guy lifts. He's thick, he's juicy. You know what I mean? Juicy. So for the first time in your life, you may not get like, oh, you're shredded, but you're still going to get like, oh, bro, looking good, bro. Oh, looking good, bro. Come here, big man. Come here, strong man. You're going to start getting those things if you've never had them before. Now, this is amazing for me. The first time I started getting those compliments at the age of 19 or something, when I first
got to do a proper bulk. It was the same thing for Arthur, the 16-year-old, 15-year-old kid that we put on 70 pounds on. Not by the time he got to 70 pounds, but within the first 2 months, people, his friends and his friends' dads were like, holy shit, come here, strong man. Your arms look good. This looks good, blah, 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 stuff like that. So for the first time in your life, people are actually going to recognize the fact that you go to the gym and you're going to feel like the work that I'm putting in is making some difference. I can see the benefits. Let's go. Jesus. I don't know how many reps I got there. That was a decent chunk. But anyways, the next one's going to be failure. And I might actually reduce the weight eventually to make it even harder. So we'll see. Anyways, that was my point about how you're going to finally look like someone that lifts. And those compliments and stuff are going to come in. Now, I would like to get my phone, but I don't know if I can though. Get it? Okay. So the next point was fat guys get big, strong guy compliments. Skinny guys don't look like they lift until the shirt comes off. This will destroy your motivation. Also, I want you to just sit right now, pause the video for like 60 seconds and ask yourself, have you ever attempted either before? Have you attempted either before? Am I saying bulking? Choose a side and get going, oh, gotcha. Because you're thinking, should I bulk or cut? Like, which one have you chosen? Which one have you tried to go? Once you already lost weight, now you're in this middle, right? Should I cut even further or should I bulk? Have you chosen either one? Because most probably you haven't, because most probably we just get stuck in this thinking cycle of should I or shouldn't I? One, you probably haven't, which means fucking choose a side and get going. You'll make progress and undo the mistakes in lesser time than you will waste. Yes, so start making mistakes so you can learn from them as opposed to just thinking about the mistakes you might make. I'm like, oh, Jesus. So because I didn't track anything in the Nordic girls, I'm not even going to track because I already did. RP 8, 9, or 9, 8, failure. So no point tracking them. The last one, the very last one, is basically just Romanian deadlifts. So we're not going to do that here. We're going to do it with the kettlebell on the other side. May or may not use a band. Haven't decided yet. Let's get there and we'll figure it out. Okay. So we're here for the fuck is this thing? Jesus. Stiff leg deadlifts. Romanian deadlifts. Dude, I sound like I have like a list. But yeah, so I'm going to warm up with one set. What's the next topic? Okay, then if you did choose, yes, then you probably chose to cut, right? And you felt you were going nowhere, so you quit. So let's do the exact opposite now, because I promise you'll be way, way happier all the way up there, increasing your bench by 1 or 2 plates, your deadlift by 2 or 3 plates, your squat by 1 or 2 plates, and getting the sickest, swellest arm pumps, pec pumps, quad pumps, yada, yada, everything else. Honestly, again, if you've never bulked properly before, you don't even know the actual true enjoyment of going to the gym. The true enjoyment of going to the gym isn't seeing the scale on the weighing scale change and go down or some shit. It's like what you feel inside the gym, like what I feel inside the gym right now. That's what feels good. The point of this exercise really, and that's why I have it right at the end. The point of this exercise really is just to feel the stretch in your hammies and that's it. So all you're trying to do is feel like a little bit of a mind muscle connection and a little bit of a stretch going on right at the end. But yeah, I'm trying to feel a little bit of a mind muscle connection and a little bit of stretch, which is only going to happen right at the end of your workout. So that's why I had this right at the end, the stretching movement. After you're completely warmed up, have all kinds of blood flow going, have all kinds of nutrients flowing to it, and you have the least chance of injury. So it's a bit of a tangent, but the most important thing inside the gym, whether you're an athlete, the number one, and by the way, I didn't know this in the book. The book didn't teach me this because the book actually taught me strength and conditioning. So when I moved into the field with guys that had experience, they actually taught me, these coaches actually taught me, our most important job is not even to improve the athlete's performance. Our most important job is to make them injury-free because the athlete is already a golden athlete because they're an athlete, because they're already good. That's why they're on whatever state they're in. So the most important thing about strength and conditioning really is to make sure that your athlete remains safe and injury-free so that they can keep on playing, make money, get better at it, bring wins to their team, etc., etc. Similarly, transferring that over to bodybuilding, don't do stupid shit or dumb shit because you're so impatient. And I don't just mean in training, I do mean training too, but dumb shit with your training, plus your diet, plus your drug cycles and shit. Don't do dumb shit that you're going to regret eventually after. There's more than enough time. You have the rest of your life to put on as much poundage and as much weight as you want, to lose as much fat as you want. The time isn't running away. If you get a six-pack within the next 3 months or so you get it in like 2 years, there's no difference. You will learn how to get a six-pack and you will have the six-pack eventually anyways, right? So there are no girls running away. Sure, the current girl that you see in and around you, she might go away. Guess what, bro? There's like 10 more, 1,000 more beautiful chicks in the same city within a 10-kilometer radius that you live in that you don't even know about. No opportunity in life is irreplaceable. There's always, if there's one, there's always more than one. Okay, so yeah, so that's why I'm doing this right at the end. I'm going to go for the heaviest, which is like 100 pounds, and I'm just going to go for the mind-muscle connection and see how far I can take it. I may or may not go to failure. Maybe might go to 2 reps shy of failure, something like that. Okay, this is like 48 kilos, probably like 110 pounds or something, which is pretty much my body weight. This is better. Whew. Pretty fucking close. Jeez, feeling a little bit lightheaded. But in that one right there, I had to basically concentrate on not hitting my lower back, because all these movements can hit each other, right? So I'm trying my best to like not hit my lower back, but rather hit my hamstrings. Okay, and one of my final things, actually, it's actually really important. That's my final point here. Is like, bro, arms look amazing even at 30% body fat if you actually have the muscle. But even at peak bulk, fat as fucking shit, I still had insane arms. I still had insane biceps. So the point is, when you're bulking, that's the first time in your life you're going to have arms that are fucking huge, fucking swole, massive. So even if you're not looking forward to gaining the weight on the scale, if you're not looking forward to the gut that's coming out or yada yada, whatever, you're still going to have such a huge fucking bicep pump. That's going to be insane. That's different. So I'm going to show you a picture of me fat as fuck, bro. I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully you can. Look at the size of my fucking stomach. That's peak bulk, right? You do look disgusting. But now, by the way, there's 2 things here. Is that number one, I mentioned this before, but the supplements that I received were fake, number one. Number 2, I just went too hard, too fast. Like I didn't need to go that hard or something. So I kind of, even though I gained like a lot of weight and definitely put on a lot of muscle, I didn't have to push that hard. But even at that, how fucking good does that look? How fucking swole does that look? Even at the fattest fuck phase, you're still gonna have big fucking arms, and you're always gonna enjoy looking at those big fucking arms and get those big massive pumps. So even if you're scared of every other aspect of bulking, you absolutely want to do it because you have these things to look forward to. And like I said before, I'm not gonna lie to you when I say this, but a little mini part of my depression was because I bulked up so hard, I honestly thought it was gonna take me forever to come back. But the truth of the matter is, this entire cut could have been done in 4 months to maybe 6 months tops, I feel. It took me a whole year because I did it, and then I fucked off for a little bit because I was depressed. And I did it again, and I fucked off for a little bit because I was depressed. And every time I was depressed, I was binge drinking alcohol and all kinds of fucking bullshit and smoking weed and playing video games all day. At the start, my training was like 3 days a week, doing 20 minutes of cardio tops, you know, all minimal 45 minutes of training or some shit. And still I made progress and I got here. So you absolutely want to bulk. You're going to learn how to build muscle. Once you learn how to build muscle and maintain it, you will be able to maintain the muscle and possibly even build it while you're cutting down. And then you will finally get that look that you're going for, that 6-pack look, the shredded look, this, that, whatever. You're finally going to actually look aesthetic, or you're actually going to look good. So yeah, hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions or something, let me know in the comment section below. My entire training program and my entire diet is out there for free. It's that black belt incel. Just Google for black belt incel or shredded and you'll find it. From fat Indian incel to fucking shredded or something. My entire program, the bread and butter basics, everything of it is on that video. You can go through that thing. That is more than enough to get you 3 years worth of progress if you want. My entire bodybuilding dieting video is like the infallible diet, which I link it in that video itself. Those 2 are more than enough. They're absolutely free. That's like the best culmination of 15 plus years of my training and working with every single coach that I've worked with. Everything is on there for free. You have everything you need to get results. If you want to not waste your time and you want to guarantee yourself results, you know, your deadlift form is off, you have zero mind muscle connection, you're starving still and you have no idea how to kill the hunger, whatever your issues might be. I have guys that have lost fat on ice cream, and there are other guys that have only had chicken and rice and stuff. It's all over. There's some guys that just couldn't do squats and deadlifts and had to work other things out. If you want to guarantee results and or make them faster, more than happy to help you out. That said, my training program and my diet is entirely on there for free. You're guaranteed to get all the results that you see in that video. So hopefully that helps. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. I think the next topic I'm going to discuss is actually going to be about spirituality and God, actually. Should you or should you not choose to believe in God? But besides that, let me know. I'm also going to be doing all my other training programming videos anyways, like chest day, shoulder day, arm day, yada, yada, so on and so forth. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I should see you all next time. Peace.